News?
News.
News.
News. Welcome to The Industry is Doom. I'm Mikki.
I'm Blake.
I'm Brent.
And news. I'm sorry, I spaced entirely on news recently. Like, I haven't been paying attention to the world at all. I've just been watching YouTube videos of people crying about how Game of Thrones Season 8 is terrible, and I'm just sitting back here with the books going, yes, your pain is delicious.
Okay, there's two important things happening here.
Yeah.
First of all, the news everywhere is exhausting. Nobody trusts anything anymore, and everyone is just tuned out, including us, newsophiles. We're just like, ugh, I've just fucking had it.
Yeah.
And more importantly, too, no it doesn't. It's fucking entertaining television. Fuck off. Shut your goddamn mouths. And George R. R. Martin is going to die 1,000 times before that book is ever released. So just,
I'm well aware. But we will get to
But
that.
it'll be finished by the guy who finished the Wheel of Time series, so it's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, everything.
Well,
everything
here's an interesting
it.
question. If it was to be written by George R. R. Martin, what do you think would be added in the in-betweens?
Nope, this is not the pop culture show. We have to go the other
We will
direction.
get to that, because that is content we are going to go into.
In what show?
And please, won't you shut up?
Available on? Where's that list?
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely Brent's
You
turn
haven't
to
seen
read
the list yet. We're on more stuff now.
The list is
So
difficult.
not only iTunes and Audio Boom and YouTube, but also
Tune in, Slither, Spotify, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and Castbox.
You got Castbox. Did you say Slither?
Slither.
Yeah.
I got way more wrong than you did. What was that one actually?
Slither and Cussbox.
Is it actually Slither?
No, it's Stitcher.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, Cussbox for sure, but also Slither.
I like Castbox.
Cussbox and Slither. Available on Cussbox and Slither.
And at an iTunes near you.
I do have some news about the Auditor General in Halifax.
Oh,
Did you look
yes.
this up? Is
I
this
did.
really a thing? What's going on?
So tell.
She found that a HRM staff member purchased Bose speakers for a conference call, as well as a $400 fossil bags to transport the laptops that the city gave him.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Please continue.
All of this stuff is like listed in like how what you should and shouldn't do, and it's just like clearly stated.
Can I add a slight bit of color to this story?
Sure.
I'm looking this up as you're telling this. This is a great story already. Halifax's Auditor General's name is Evangeline Coleman Sad.
That's so Nova Scotian.
And have you ever met a more serious-looking person?
Oh my God, she looks like bureaucracy itself.
If
Cross your
bureaucracy,
T's and dot your I's.
if bureaucracy was a person, and then you pleasanted that person up a little bit, because bureaucracy's scary.
Yes.
And she doesn't look scary, nor does she look sad, but
No,
she looks like she does her fucking job. Holy shit.
She looks like
serious
she's
as hell.
very familiar with stamping things multiple times.
I feel like she stamped whoever made these purchases multiple times. Yeah.
But like she went to the Star, like the Metro Star thing.
Oh yes,
Right away.
That thing.
Bypassed it.
Really?
Like bypassed a lot of like little names first and just went to like the freest, most like get it out there.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Halifax employees have 535 credit cards, which I don't think is unreasonable. I think
because a lot of those are used for real things and not fossil bags.
Yeah. In 2017, $5 million worth of items were purchased using those cards, which again, I don't know what that number means.
That's
like,
a lot of paper plates. Like to be very honest,
yeah,
it's an army of paper plates.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have context for that purchase, so I'm not going to freak out about that. Which is why I'm glad we have someone like, what's her name here? Evangeline Coleman Sad.
Miss
I'm
Sad.
sorry, Coleman Sad.
Sad.
Coleman Sad. When she's on vacation, I wonder if she like signs in as Evangeline Coleman Happy.
Smiley.
Oh, that'd be pretty
Relaxed.
good too. That's local too. I like that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad she exists and that position exists because that's fucking here it is. Bose speakers, fossil bags. What else was there?
Oh, they're monitors when they can purchase them from the IT department.
Yeah, because
Like
they already like literally own a bank of them, and they're supposed to like purchase them from this internal service that has a backlog. Yeah. Of course, because, those ones are just normal ones. I need ones that are compatible with my Bose speaker.
But I'm sorry, nobody, if you're buying this with my money, which that's what it is.
Yeah,
if you're
that
buying,
is literally what
if you're buying headphones, go inside of your ear with my money.
Yeah.
I get to use them too. Send them over.
Come on. Sure. Make with.
I'm actually less upset about like the big ticket items. Some of these, like like a computer monitor, like on a credit card.
Yeah,
I'm sure
because like their monitor crapped out.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Like, in a important actual meeting where we all need the information, something went down. Like in an emergency, I can see that. Yeah. But I am glad there's someone who pores over this stuff because I would be exhaustively bored doing that.
I used to have to pore over that stuff at the magazine, and it was actually a lot of fun. Because you'd find a lot of random stuff, even when it's not unethical things. Mm-hmm. It's just
weird.
You purchased 50 gift certificates to the keg.
I had a politician call me back.
Yeah,
because I called him up and was like, "So this, why?" And he called back. He's like, "Okay, so here's the actual reason for that."
Yeah, usually there's a very reasonable, but
not even completely, not even unchill at all about getting that call in the first place. It's kind of that's public record, and therefore I can see how it looks. Here's what happened, and it was a completely rational explanation. I was like, all right, and you know what? As not just as someone who's going to write this all up and enjoy the process. But as a taxpayer, I'm I appreciate you at least having a story behind that.
Yeah,
It's when you call up and they're like, actually, I don't think I need to explain. Fuck you. Yes, you do. That's public money. Yeah, that's your job.
Exactly. At the very least, you may want to not have rumors about improper spending when you have a completely innocent tale to be like, well, that was for a birthday party for a constituent who is dying. And they helped us as a volunteer for 40 years. And it's oh, well, now I feel like an asshole. Thank you for calling back.
It's not even that you have to feel like an asshole about asking questions, although you inevitably always do. That's actually a really nice story. And it's maybe they didn't want to tell that story because they have a sense of humility, although they are a politician. Don't be cynical. But no, that's the kind of story that it's actually kind of nice to tell you. I do feel kind of a heel for asking you now. But at the same time, that's actually a very decent thing.
Yeah. Now, in this case, I'm sure he wasn't sharing those fossil bags. My question is, did they come from the overpriced store in the airport, or did he order them online?
Oh, somebody got a super deal on one and then resold them and made the city a buck. As long as they paid it forward to the city, then fine.
Yeah.
If they pocketed that buck, then fuck you.
Well, if it was purchased at the airport, at least then we're making federal tax dollars?
And I'm sorry,
Listen, we make enough federal tax dollars. I'm fine federally. Provincially, we're poor as shit. Municipally, oh my god.
Ugh.
That's so frustrating. Everyone complains that Halifax gets all the jobs and gets all of this and gets all of that, and then it's yeah, but we don't get all the funding, and I'm sorry, but our hospital's falling completely to tits, and we're paying for all kinds of Mind you, again, we'll talk locally and actually get on the local news anger box for a second, we're supposed to in this segment. Sorry, I got distracted here. But how much the fuck do they want to spend on a new art gallery?
I have not heard.
I'm gonna look this up right now. Do you know? Because it's an intense amount of millions.
It's an intense amount of millions, but it's also another pull for a summertime
Listen, our art gallery is already beautiful and awesome.
It's another place to see.
130 million.
Wow.
I think they should convert the old building.
That's impressive.
I'm not impressed by this.
No, I mean, are they building a new one?
Yes, and this is the thing. I love the arts, I do, but I also think our art gallery is beautiful.
It's a really cool
combination. And I don't think I've ever felt crowded in there.
Yeah. I love the courtyard. I love the old building with its Victorian hyper detail.
Yeah.
How about Dartmouth gets an art gallery? And you put it in the old city hall.
It would cost a lot less, and that would be lovely.
That would be very smart. So no.
Not even cynicism like that, but there already is. On the ferry. There already is at least one nice art gallery downtown. It's very small. It give
And they're both connected by a boat in a sleepy little community outside of the downtown.
Yeah, that's true. You could more or less float directly from one to the other.
Or with admission to the thing, you get if you're wearing a lapel, you get on the ferry for free.
I'm complaining because of the state of our hospital, and I live in Halifax. I'm the king of medical privilege right here. Oh my god, every fucking rural ER in this province is closing every weekend.
Yeah.
And then everyone wonders who's buying all these condos in the city. It's the old people who are nervous as shit because their ER's closed, so they're moving in from Guysborough and Cumberland counties.
Yeah. But the ERs were built in the 50s to support a larger community and population.
True, but there's no doctors there, and there's still people there who need an ER.
A health center is much more functional.
You still need to have a doctor on call.
No, you have medevacs. The population is different.
How much would it cost to medevac every old-timer who has a heart attack in the middle of nowhere, Nova Scotia?
Not only that, but that's just not feasible. Or comforting. And like, it's not all about comfort, for God's sakes, but... Nor am I all like, defund the arts, blah, blah. Not that guy either, but for Christ's sakes, we have a healthcare emergency.
Give me another solution, because the population is declining, and you cannot, put the resources into something that is unsustainable.
I'm not saying that they can't be run more intelligently and more efficiently. They definitely can.
It out.
You're not a politician. I don't have to figure it out. It's my job to be an armchair critic. I'm practically in an armchair right here. That's the entire point of this podcast. It's Armchair Critics Unite on the local scale, and then we go to America for some awful reason, and then we generally go abroad. But I'm mad about this right now. Honest to God, you have whole counties where their ERs are closed down because there's no doctor available at all. And our premier's like, there's not a healthcare emergency. That's ridiculous. And then he's like, we're going to put $130 million, which is always the low ball estimate, into a new art gallery. And I'm like, that's not really necessary right now.
You were saying?
I think...
I'll kick the soapbox over to you, but you're going to step your volume up.
I think you want to...
Compete, damn it.
Can you shut your face then?
Obviously not.
Obviously. I think the biggest issue is the large amount of NSGU people in Halifax. I think if they gave more responsibility to RNs in the smaller communities, you could have people who prevent heart attacks.
I'm down with that too. I'm down with all kinds of solutions like this. Because that keeps an ER open because there's somebody there.
The ER doesn't save everything.
It
It's a cesspool of people who are sick.
Cesspool. Nova Scotia.
Why can't someone just do something about these sick people?
It's a hospital.
They're so gross.
No, but it's a hospital. It is where germs live.
You need it. It's basic triage. It's where you go.
Inevitably, no matter what you say in the time of the world, the hospitals will have more germs than anywhere else.
You know what else is bad? 911 call centers. They're so depressing. They lead to people having depression and mental illness. We should close that shit down. Stamp it out. When you call for an emergency, you know what you should get? Fuck all, because you're depressing. Your story hurts people.
No, I'm real.
Die quietly at home. That's nice. They'll put you in the paper as died peacefully in bed. It doesn't say that you were attacked by your dog first. Doesn't have to.
Where's the dog coming from?
Because the dog smells fresh meat. Well, rotting meat.
You need ERs, especially in a province with large swaths of territory with 6 people living in them. It's annoying, but you need at least somebody on call. In a room with some medical instruments. That's all we fucking need.
A health center has a small triage
That's
portion.
fine. You're using semantics. You're just using the words health center instead of ER. Give me a fucking medically equipped room with at least a couple medically equipped staff and leave it open 24/7.
Yeah,
that's
3
all
to 5.
I'm asking. That's literally all I'm asking for. We're doing that thing. Okay, this is now the couples counseling segment of the show where we often get really our worst fights are when we are 3% separate from each other.
Yeah.
This is why the left always tears itself apart and stuff. That critique, yes, because of that. That's us. That's us. We're but you're not exactly on the same page. You're slightly askew, and that fucks me over. Screw you. So we agree. We need someone there.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. The only person who doesn't agree is the premier, but that's fine.
Primarily, I don't care.
He's unpopular anyway.
He is highly unpopular.
He's the most unpopular in recorded Nova Scotia history.
That
includes the rapist.
My parents,
yeah.
Yikes. My parents who don't talk about politics, they're that generation and they're Presbyterians, you know how it goes. Oh, they're mad. They'll talk about him. They'll yell about him in the big stop.
Curious. Oh God.
This happened recently.
Rowdy in the big stop.
Oh my God! Right? Yep.
On the border to New Brunswick, nonetheless.
No, the other big stop.
Okay.
Yeah, wasn't driving all the way to Allac.
That's
tired.
the better one too.
Allac Big Stop is the best one in the universe. You shut your mouth.
Wait.
Oh wait.
Wasn't that what I was saying?
I thought you were saying the Truro one was better. I was
no, not the Truro one.
It doesn't compare.
No,
it was a lovely time. This show is not sponsored by Irving, as any commentary we make later on New Brunswick will make abundantly clear, but the Allac Big Stop is fucking awesome.
We should also be sponsored by Deluxe. Have you ever been to Deluxe Fries in Truro?
We should be sponsored by the Ghost of Schnitzel House. That was the best restaurant in Allac.
Schnitzel House. Der Schnitzel House.
Can this show be officially sponsored by the Ghost of Schnitzel House?
Yes.
That's part of the new structure this show's going to have.
Found it! That's fantastic. Damn it. Now I want schnitzel. And 2 kilometers away is a billboard for that super fancy burger place with next to the Mexican place, and it's all one thing.
Cheese curds?
Yes, cheese curds. They have a schnitzel burger right now, and it's just like, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's rough.
Motherfucker.
That is rough.
I want schnitzel.
I know, I really want a schnitzel burger now.
What was the one that was?
This
at
show is
Schnitzel
definitely
House?
not sponsored by local burgers, as will be made clear by some time when I yell about Burger Week.
That was a bad burger week.
It was,
Every Burger Week's a bad
yeah,
Burger
but that
Week!
was the worst burger week.
I don't know. I've seen more enthusiasm other years. There was like a Burger Beaver or something
That's
one
the
year.
point. That there was no like
Good.
No one
That's a
even
good
fucking-
Burger Week.
I had a burger with espresso in it, and I felt
Whoa.
way too excited and way too like.
I
meat
wasn't there for
sweats.
this. I didn't hear about
You
this
just said
until now.
words that don't make sense.
Oh no, I'm down with that.
Was it in the meat?
It was cooked into or was part of the meat mixing together,
Okay, interesting.
but it did not settle well because it was like meat sweats with like caffeine sweats.
So your body's just going.
I'm just like,
We
what's
should give some
happening?
context to this. Because this is a perfect local media story.
Yeah, no, it is.
So Burger Week is this thing where all the restaurants in town donate, like almost literally all the restaurants in town donate a portion of their whatever they take in from burgers they sell this one particular week
Supposedly.
to feed Nova Scotia.
Yeah, to feed Nova Scotia, and
Yeah,
supposedly,
Which is great, but there's always a large cloud of supposedly over it. Like
they never really
Whether there
release
should or
any
shouldn't be, but-
details about
Yeah.
it. So even if it's completely on the level,
Yeah.
it's just sketchy because you won't release details.
Which, you know what? That's true of every event that donates money to charity. So I'm not even mad about that.
Yeah.
What
Or
I'm
some
mad about
places
is the
it's
coast.
Only the specific burger.
The coast,
As
the
well.
local,
This is true.
the local pro-environmental, I would say, like pro-left, we're good for you paper.
Yeah, once a week, every year.
They're free, and there's only
completely
6
turn
pages
around.
of Volkswagen ads for every paragraph of content.
Yeah.
So it's fine. But then, yeah, once a year, this and I mean,
Consume
I've written
red
for the coast, so I'm not like
Yeah.
completely. I don't hate these people; they're lovely, and
But
I like to
it's
read some of what they
completely
do.
funny.
But then once a year, despite all of their presumed do-gooderness
Yeah.
for the planet and for you personally,
The green-
they're like, get as much beef in that gullet as you fucking can! Cram it in! Beef! Like,
It does. It's kind of the awakening from the hibernation den, though. Like it's a lot of you. I have seen in
It's
past
fine
years,
socially.
Yes.
it's just environmentally hideously irresponsible to encourage more beef consumption.
And
I know
yeah.
that locally for butchers and for restaurant people, it's kind of tough. Like, it's great for the
Exactly.
people who own the local, like,
For
meat
the
purveyors
small
and the
ones,
local
yeah.
restaurants.
For
But
sure.
everyone who works for them is like, oh, fuck, Burger Week.
And the truth is,
They
because
hate Burger
they
Week.
need so much beef, it's lesser quality beef than any other week.
Oh, yeah.
Here, the burgers are actually worse
Most
than
likely,
any
yeah.
other time.
You want a burger? Go right now while you're listening to this show, unless
Yeah.
you're listening super late and it's Burger Week again.
know,
Oh god, no!
I want
just
a
wanna-
peanut butter
I wanna
burger
put
pretty
a bit
bad,
of
to be honest with you.
positivity into this, and I want to commend Daryl's for their commitment to like burgers year round because they always have.
I just referenced their peanut butter burger, so I feel compelled to say that Daryl's is also not a sponsor.
Yeah,
But I don't have anything shitty to say after
No,
that.
but
They
Daryl's
put an
peanut butter
egg on some of
burger,
their burgers, and I
that's
don't
it.
want that personally, but I
Yeah.
get the appeal to some
pineapples
people.
on another
Do
one,
that.
like but like they're like a consistent like we're just gonna do that all the time. So like Burger Week is every week, and I like that.
During Burger Week, I discovered I love discovering new places to eat just because you're frustrated with other places.
Yeah.
So during Burger Week, I went and found anything else, and at Gus's, there's a great taco place that is the
Are you
best
talking
fucking
Taco
tacos.
Lina's?
My God!
Okay, because here, a friend of ours was really annoyed at Taco Lina's because
Really?
they tried to go to Taco Lina's for tacos
Yeah,
during Burger Week, and you couldn't get them. They were just doing burgers.
but I had tacos during Burger Week.
Okay, well, I'm calling into question everything I've ever known.
I'm so confused. I had
You?
the best tacos. The best.
Intriguing.
Oh, barbacoa.
We'll have to learn about this.
Mm.
Taco Lina's is also probably now unwilling to be a sponsor.
Yeah, and the other one is at one of those little food kiosks at Pete's. They make a Caesar salad the size of your head.
I don't feel like we're adhering to the commentary that we should have more structure in this show.
I'm quite sure that
This
you're
just
quite
in.
correct.
I feel like we started on the right path because this is a very local media story, but it's about burgers, so it just derails itself.
Yeah, but that's
so easily.
Halifax. I mean, if we're not talking about burgers, we're talking about fish or donairs.
It's almost as if the people in this town smoke a gratuitous amount of pot and generally have the munchies.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
It's very strange. Thank God it's nice outside for like at least a few months of the year. We'd just be all miserable and strangely obese.
Patio season.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing.
It's
as
the one
opposed
time
to that.
the city opens up and it's just like,
Patio
okay,
season's
we
great.
need to see everybody.
Yeah.
All the time.
Are you on the street? No. Why are you not out?
Yeah.
Why are you not out?
Yeah.
There's only 4 more
Oh.
months left. Like,
Okay.
why?
Good local project news, in my opinion, anyway. Although, on the one hand, it's like, "Brah, more traffic, brah," and encouraging cars, but on the other, it's also encouraging cycling. The Burnside Connector. They've been talking about this highway for like 25 years now.
Yeah.
It's been in the planning stages. Anyone who actually lives locally listening to this will know where that Magazine Hill is just like the world's most horrible death trap road.
Oh, death trap.
It's awful. It's from like what, Sackville to Dartmouth. It's
you-
like the
if you
only
described
road
it to
around
other
that end of the
people-
harbor.
If you described it to other people, they wouldn't believe you. This is the only road, or used to be the only road in or out of half of the city.
Yep.
It's up I guess a hill that is at such a great incline that cars have stalled on it and then begun to roll back down the entire thing from one city to the middle of Bedford. That happened once, and I remember it happening when I grew up in Bedford. A truck rolled all the fucking way down out of control, kilometers of this hill
It's
without
not
hitting
even
anything.
great of the hill. It's
Yeah.
that it's incredibly busy because it's the only convenient road that connects these two big parts of the city.
Exactly. So of course there are
The whole
always,
side of the harbor, really.
Yeah. So there are always traffic jams or
And a
accidents
ton
there.
of potholes because you can't take time to do construction properly until like the summer.
Exactly. And on one side of it is an arms depot, and on the other
Yeah.
is where
Oh,
they
hence
buried
Magazine Hill.
Exactly. And on the other side is where they buried a bunch of munitions,
Amazing.
which is why you're not allowed to ever get off the road
That's
on
great.
Magazine
It's
Hill.
like when you drive through New Brunswick on the highway and it
Yeah.
says active like Gagetown training zone, like live ammo training. Do not get out of your car on the highway. That's great.
So
No, but
stuff
so they're
might
building a
explode.
new highway to
Thank
like
God.
bypass all of this shit. Which I don't even care how much you're like, no new highways. Infrastructure projects that aren't fucking ferries to nowhere are a good thing.
Yeah.
And
This
if
is
they
going to
make
be
things safer.
very exactly. It's
It's
going to
very
be so much
safer,
safer,
yeah.
and not only is it going to be like divided highway through through forest lands. Not really. It's connecting an industrial park to a suburb.
Rush.
I'm sorry, those forest lands
Yeah.
are not home to moose.
Those forest lands were purchased long ago. Almost everything has been driven out
Exactly.
of them. Like the no.
And you know
The-
what,
okay,
can
the
do-
terminus
you
of
can do
this
eco
highway-
swales as well that allow like land to kind of move over top, and
Yeah.
you put like
Yeah.
a few tunnels.
Yeah,
Like,
the terminus of this highway in the Dartmouth zone is right next to the Burnside Penitentiary, so don't glamorize this too much.
Yeah. So the things that are wandering over on that nature preserve are in orange khaki.
They
and-
might put up fences and say, do not exit your car along this stretch of the highway.
we're
But the
talking about
important part of this,
wildfire.
so
Yeah.
I'm pro this because it's an infrastructure and safety project, but also they're putting along a bike path along the whole thing, so you'll be able to bike from like Bedford Sackville to Dartmouth.
that
Not
would
on
be
the
smart.
highway, but like adjacent.
No, like
Yeah,
a
just,
separate
like,
divided
through
like
the-
bicycle highway basically. At least that's what's being proposed. This is Nova Scotia, so we will ultimately shave some dimes off somewhere so we can
Yeah,
reward our
and
friends.
it'll of course be there so that in a couple of years you can have a big groundswell of support and anger so that we can spend even more money on a more expensive version of that that we could have included at the beginning, but we got pissed.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely short-sight it and pay for it later. That's the maritime way.
Oh yeah, we can't do it any other.
No. I'm glad we avoided Canada this segment. We just stuck, like, really local.
I
We only referenced New Brunswick to make fun of it, as people do.
I want this year to end and to get on the other side
Oh.
of the election and not to have Tories.
Yeah,
Did we talk about
yeah.
PEI at all?
We did last time, I think. About the Greens?
Has anything interesting come of that?
Not yet, but there's definitely a green psychological shift happening already.
I feel
Like,
like,
there's
a
a
lot more
bit-
people are open to the conversation of green.
If not, like, the people who write the editorials and the people who read them and go, I think that's actually plausible. Okay, us and, like, somebody's. Like, yeah, they're starting to buy that a little bit. And I don't care, I just want an option here.
I think the other day the Newfies re-elected the Liberals.
They
but
did.
Like,
Everyone was making a big hullabaloo about it being like, oh, the blue wave has crashed. And I'm like, no, it's just Newfoundland.
that's just Newfoundland.
Yeah.
They hate conservatives. They
And not only that,
hate
well,
that.
not only that, but it has Newfoundland has nothing to do with like trends in Canada, generally speaking.
Yeah, Newfoundland's like practically Europe.
Newfoundland's just,
Essentially.
Yeah.
it's practically Newfoundland. But
It's
I mean,
because
I wouldn't
it's a
expect
cousin
it to
Canada
mean
and
anything
Europe.
either
Yeah.
way.
Well, like if green. Where is Greenland?
Newfoundland doesn't count as talking about Canada either.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They're not Maritimes, but they're close enough.
Well, they
We'll
also
still
have
keep
it in
Atlantic Canada
Labrador.
this episode.
And Labrador.
In Labrador, yeah. I
We're-
don't want to slag off
we're-
Labrador. Everyone
I'm
likes
sorry.
black flies.
Labrador is essentially like the world's biggest
It's,
mall city.
Biggest what?
Small city.
They're like
I
mall
always-
city.
I always
Like
think
everything
of...
is so indoors, just like Moncton, where like
Oh, yeah.
it's like
that
it's an
makes sense.
interconnected fortress of buildings.
Because you don't want to go outside in the winter.
No,
Yeah.
like they're just
And,
like,
or in the summer. In fact, don't go
I've
outside.
never been, but I know somebody who's been there. Like,
There's logging. And there's logging.
what? I haven't.
You have a
There's
friend who's
logging.
black?
There's logging.
I got some black in me by injection.
But is there logging?
There might be some logging. I'll have to check in on that.
Once you go black logging, you never
Black
go
logging.
back logging? I don't know.
Birch,
Ah!
Maybe we should move on to America at this
We
point.
should
That might be a very
probably
safe
do
point.
that.
I've unsubscribed for some time
Backwards
now
and
to the
forwards.
politics subreddit because I just can't.
Oh my god, yeah, no.
Well,
I
the
haven't
most
looked at-
current is Alabama with its.
Oh, I still-
idiotic-
There's no way
idiotic.
to avoid abortion news. I'm still getting that. Fucking Georgia's been doing so well from like cinema production, and then they pulled a Nova Scotia and we're like, we don't want that money.
Yeah,
They
we
did it in
don't
a
need your
different way,
shit. We're
but
just
still.
gonna be ideologically fucked.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It should only be a vote for people who can get pregnant to say like you can stop it. Like I think that's the fairest way. Is like,
no, we had this argument yesterday. It shouldn't be a vote at all. It should just be a personal choice. Until it's out of your body, it's a part of your body, and you can do what you want to.
But that's what I mean. Like it that to me.
What
is
about
one
at
and
8
the
months?
same.
Well, if some psychopath is trying to give herself an abortion at 8 months for fun, then no, there should be laws to protect that. But I'm sorry, don't give me a slippery slope nonsense argument either. You can make that judgment. It can't be that fucking complicated.
Well, yeah, I mean, like...
I like that Canada doesn't, really.
Yeah, although the Tories are going to try to open
No,
that.
they're not. That's just liberal fear-mongering.
Not when it's coming from, like, the Tories.
Listen, Harper didn't touch abortion.
No, Harper didn't because he knew that was political suicide. This current batch is crazy.
Harper with a smile does not describe Scheer accurately.
Oh, I don't...
He has
I
a
don't
dopey
mean-
grin, but he's not as smart. Not that I want Harper back. Jesus fucking Christ, no.
Yeah, no, not that he's now appearing on like white supremacist websites.
I don't want the current one either, though.
Yeah, they're all terrible. They're all terrible. Even Michael Chong is pointless.
We just switched to America, and this is what happened.
I know.
We're the best Canadians right now. We're just sitting around navel gazing about Canada while we're supposed to be passing judgment on America.
To be fair, aside from
It's
Georgia,
the Canadian
Alabama,
dream.
I don't know what the crap's going on in America because I've completely chosen to ignore.
I'm having a weird epiphany about Donald Trump that I think needs to be discussed.
What are you?
Is he crazy like a fox? He's
I
still
think
in
he thinks he
power.
is.
He's still in power,
Yeah.
and he's still making money, and he's still thwarting the American system.
Yeah.
I'm very conflicted at this point.
You give too much credit.
No, he's still
I
the
think I
president,
agree
and
with
he's still
that.
making money, and he's... Okay, if he ends up in jail after all this, then sure. What? Yes, I understand. I won't kick over the microphone, Brent, I promise.
You have.
I've never kicked over the microphone on the show.
Good fucking luck.
You bitch, it has not happened once. You can listen to this show in its entirety, and you should, on
I
a
usually do.
long list of mispronounced media sites. Oh, where was I going? I don't even know. Now I'm all flustered.
Oh.
Oh no, Trump, yeah. Oh, he's still despicable, and I hate everything he stands for. Don't get me wrong. You know, he's the reason why you have judges that are like, oh, abortion bans, great idea. Also, I like beer. Also rape. But he's still there.
I think
he's going to get reelected.
Oh, I'm sure he'll get reelected because it's the same stupid electorate. But I think that you're both kind of right. It's still working, yes, but it's the same play that he made years ago. We're not looking at a continued sustainable thing.
No.
It's the same play, and they simply haven't dealt with it yet. So
That or
But if
he'll
you
come
don't
back.
deal with it for 8 years, and then your successor pardons you, if they're dumb enough to go
yeah,
Republican
but that's
again.
America. That's the American way.
God, that's awful.
America.
I'm interested, at least, in the conversations that are happening on the left side of the community in America, because there seems to be a lot more open discussion of alternative life. There's a lot more discussion, which they weren't doing before, and they were only allowing the top two people to really talk about it. And I'm like, there's like 10 people at the table, you get a better talk. I want to commend. I'm an optimist, so fuck off. Stop frowning, Blake.
That I think always happens.
The audience didn't need to know I was frowning, Brent, but I am very mad at it. I'm not. I'm mad at American priorities, and I'm mad to the point that I can't even tune into them anymore.
The American left almost always flourishes under Republicans. Like the only difference would probably be Lyndon Johnson failed in his Great Society. He attempted, but he failed. But maybe the New Deal. So for like 70 to 80 years or longer of just the last bit of the 20th century in America, the American left has only ever like mattered when they're in opposition to the American right with power. When they're in power, while they do some stuff, they almost always abandon everything. Whereas like conservatives are at least like they'll always be exactly what they're doing. If I'm in power, I'm doing this. If I'm not in power, I'm still doing this. It's like mainstream and or mainline, and liberals always kind of need to be like refreshed. It's odd.
I'm so grossed out by our own political parties in this country that like at least America's political dichotomy is like right there in your face, and there's just two sides to it, really.
Yeah, it is hard to miss.
Like,
when they say like, "Oh, we have a Greens," it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Because you literally are a marketplace of ideas, and you've got Coke and Pepsi, and yes, there's Mr. Pibb. Mr. Pibb's not gonna be fucking president.
Yep.
Pepsi or Coke will be, and the real answer there is Pepsi will be when Coke feels like taking the time off.
Meanwhile, we have like corrupt or creepy.
Oh yeah.
Or like just like extraneous noise.
You got Big 8 and President's Choice, and you really don't want either of them, but this is what you get.
I keep wanting to yell about Canadian politics in the America segment, but I'm really expecting now the complete and total collapse of the NDP and the rise of the Green to like come up and supplant them. And this is after I said I didn't want to talk about Canada, and I'm trying to give the show more structure. I'm a terrible person, but I'm looking forward to the demise of the NDP and the rise of the Green as an alternative party to supplant that.
Like, if that's what happens, cool. If the NDP can't achieve their goals...
It's too conflicted. Their goals are self-destroying. They're pro-environment and they're pro-organized, like, manufacturing and labor.
The NDP is just like, here, do you know where you're going? Yeah, sure. Do you want to walk with me? Okay, where are we going? Oh, well, I thought you were to go. No, where were we going?
Yep.
Yeah,
no?
You don't know? Well, I'm not going to tell you if you
Where are we going? Everywhere! Oh, great.
Are we walking? Okay, did we get to a cliff?
Did we get to a cliff? I don't know!
Lemmings.
Do you know the real story of that myth?
What is... No.
So, Lemmings...
Okay, we're going all off book.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
entirely.
The project structure is over.
This is worth it.
You know what? We're done with America. This is segment 3.
Fuck it.
I'm not even going to say what it's about.
That's
whatever this is.
I can tie it in thematically. I can tie it
to America or to segment 3?
To segment 3.
Okay, good. No one knows what it is, so it shouldn't be too hard.
All right. So, obviously, you've heard that old myth, urban myth, wives' tale, whatever, that lemmings throw themselves off cliffs to their deaths.
Yes, it's never made any sense.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. It was a decent
Every direction has a danger eventually.
Yeah, but like, why specifically is this one species hyper-suicidal to the point of like doing this in droves?
Just like mindless.
Exactly.
Less suicidal, just mindless and no survival instinct, I gather.
So none of it's true.
Figured.
What that's from is a Mutual of Omaha / Disney production from the 60s, I believe.
We are still in America.
We are. But they couldn't get the kind of interesting activity from the lemmings that they thought they could on camera. Because people had long assumed, like, because lemmings, they do have vision problems, and they do tend to, like, live in areas that have cliffs. Okay. So it's not unknown for a lemming to fall off a fucking cliff, and for people to see this. So there already kind of was this myth. And so they assumed, okay, well, we'll get a bunch of lemmings, we'll put them near a cliff, they'll leap to their deaths, and we get some great footage. Motherfucking things wouldn't leap. Because
why would they... dim.
Yeah, why would lemmings leap to their death?
They're depressed.
There's nothing here.
They called 911 and they told their sad story.
So off camera, there were people with brooms shoving the lemmings to their deaths. And that's where that was popularized. Because Disney employees shoved a herd of lemmings to their deaths to get a shot. Because the truth wasn't interesting enough.
So, like, true fake news.
Yeah.
What does this say about the title of this show and this general thought segment, third segment? This is where we've gone with our media analogy.
I have a very dark sense of humor, and that was planned from the beginning.
If I were a 911 operator, I wouldn't be as cynical and depressed as I am right now.
No, you'd be more.
That's true. That's why you should never call 911, and they should ban emergency center.
That's why I call 311.
Remember...
That's why I call 411.
What was it?
Can you connect me with someone who cares?
We
We don't have a listing for someone who cares.
It wasn't Dahmer.
But
But it was the other one. It was
Bundy?
Bundy, yes. Bundy used to volunteer at Suicide Crisis TED.
Oh.
Yeah, so he used to volunteer at Suicide Crisis hotlines. One of the best Ted Bundy stories that doesn't involve murder is his best friend from it.
Nope. Okay. Perfect plug for the next show, and we should switch over and record the next show, because then we can talk about Netflix's new... Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm calling it dead at 37 minutes. That's pretty decent.
You wanted structure? That was a manageable chunk size to take down of an episode.
We were at least aware of a structure when we destroyed it.
I like that I have apparently taken great umbrage at the suggestion that this show should have structure, when clearly it desperately needs it.
It definitely needs
We're
structure.
working on it.
There is one area.
One day we might bring a script
didn't,
of some kind in with us.
Look at if you
Never
want to.
happened. What's that, love?
There's one area we didn't look at if you want to is Britain and the burning garbage fire that is Brex. What?
Yeah, is that
No,
still
not until we have a
happening?
rational update. There have been no rational
Well, they're pushing
update.
out the school teacher, and the bully in Scotland is taking over.
No, it's not happening. Nothing's happening. Brexit's a trash heap.
That's what I mean.
Britain is
They
distracted
threw out
from
the
rational
teacher,
things.
and they're just like, "Oh, that person yelling in the alley, you're in charge."
You're in charge. We've reached the point of fine. If you think you have a better idea, why don't you just try and make Brexit work? And it's like, but I don't want to make Brexit work. Go on, make it work.
I have
Go
the
ahead.
same fatigue about Brexit and British news that I do about Trump and American news right now. I am just over it. The next time we record this episode, it'll be brought to you by what? Sierra Leone. We'll bring you the latest
Sierra
updates from
Leone.
fucking Sierra Leone instead of any Trump news or any of that nonsense.
I hope it's completely innocuous
Brexit,
and like
fuck.
we're so out of
So
touch that
exhausted
it's
by it.
like, oh no, what happened in Sierra Leone this week? A McDonald's was opened. Ooh,
Ooh.
that's very nice. That's lovely.
I hope if we have a listener in Sierra Leone, I'll be super happy. But I really hope that if we do, they're like furious while they're sitting there listening to this from the free Wi-Fi in McDonald's, and they're just like, "Fuck you!" There's a McDonald's across the street. McDonald's in Sierra Leone are like Tim Hortons in Canada. They're fucking everywhere.
One of the interesting things about it, though, because the European elections are happening because they haven't decided to leave.
Oh, so we're gonna go through with
Listen.
this. Fine, I'm gonna settle in.
I don't care.
This is a traditional segment 3 where we go global, and we've gone to that basket case.
And I don't care.
Our
I'm
mummy
talking
in
about
Europe.
Nicola Sturgeon, who has fielded a ton more SNP people to run for the European elections because all the other parties are falling apart. And you said something about there's a liberal person in Scotland that like basically shat the bed.
Oh, Scottish Labour sent out some official screed from the party across Scotland, and they meant to send it in Gaelic, but they sent it in Welsh.
Yeah, just to be like, and fuck you twice.
That'd be great. It's like sending everyone in Quebec a message from the Liberal Party of Quebec written in like the first language of Quebec, Spanish.
Yeah.
That makes complete sense.
That would be
Why not?
excellent.
I love it.
I really want to make that happen. That's a Beaverton.
Oh god, that is a fight. That is an internal fight with the language police, and it would just be like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Don't kill me.
The only common tongue would be "fuck you."
Yeah. Just people flipping themselves or flipping each other and flipping
Raspberries,
themselves, flipping
as
everything
far as
off.
like the whole country would just be.
Oh my god.
I'm glad we at least went for the distracting news. Not Brexit, not that distraction. The silly things. The Lord Buckethead of it all.
Scotland is not the Lord Buckethead of it all, you bitch.
Scotland's definitely the Lord Buckethead.
It's the powerhouse.
That's
It
not
is
what
the
I meant, but now that you've brought it up.
It is the economic
Yeah, you brought it
powerhouse.
up.
It has the only oil
Fish run the
fields.
British economy.
Absolutely, but it's also the one
Fish
that
and
has
kilts?
like kilts and bagpipes
Yeah.
and boiled liver in its stomach or some shit.
You mean
It's-
haggis? Haggis
it's
not boiled liver in a
definite-
stomach. It is an assortment of not like maybe 18th century meats.
Listen, I actually really
What
like
the fuck
haggis.
does that mean?
Haggis is actually delicious, but here's
Oh,
the
it
thing.
is delicious.
It is completely
gross.
canceled out by Iron Brew being a thing, because that shit is gross.
You gotta wash down
Iron Brew is
something.
gross. Iron Brew is
I prefer
gross.
a pint.
Iron Brew is gross. That's all I have to say to you.
Are you a kid? Do you like sugar? Guess what? It's great.
Nope, that's my verdict on the international segment of the show. Is that Iron Brew is gross.
Can you
All right.
deep fry an iron brew? That's my question.
A Scotsman would.
I want to see.
No, but you can put iron
that.
brew into batter.
I'm gonna be in so much trouble if my in-laws discover this show.
Fucking Scotsman.
What?
I think that rounds it up. Onward to what's our other show called? We could never list that on YouTube.
Hold on,
It'd be
hold
so
on.
hard.
I'm gonna try to do it in a terrible Scottish accent, so I have
Yes.
to channel my inner Doin. Please, won't you shut up?
Wow, that was
Terrible.
bad.
When you had your
That's bad. How'd you
There's no R's in it, so I can't roll anything.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a terrible sentence for it. The industry is doom. Sounds great, but
That does.
say please won't you shut up?
Please, wouldn't you had it?
Yeah, like
Oh,
you have
that's
to
a
literally
great name
change
for a
the words.
special episode. We'll have on Vicky for a special episode via Skype,
Oh,
and that'll be the title of it.
Brian would be good as well, because if you get me and him a little tipsy and like drunk,
This is not a
Scottish
good
yelling
idea.
at each other.
This is not a good idea.
Drunk Scottish yelling at each other is more entertaining for the two people involved and everybody around in that setting. Otherwise,
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yes.
Fake news. Call the show.
I love it.
Fake news.
I love it.
Call the show.
Love it.